It was enough to send them through to another semi-final clash, but a tragedy that would rip the heart out of the club was only hours away.
So we thought, well, we're going to win the European Cup this year. But the next day, all that altered.
On February the 6th, returning home from Belgrade, the team stopped to refuel in Munich.
It had started to snow a little. When we came back out for our first attempt at takeoff, we were leaving footprints in the snow. And it gradually got a little worse as we tried each time and got out of the plane. But after the second attempt, it had got quite a bit worse.
After 2, we came back and stayed, and then eventually they said, oh, it's all right now, we can go.
At that stage, I thought everyone on the aeroplane was afraid. There's no doubt about it. Everyone on the aeroplane was afraid.
I had this sensation of tremendous power, and then I'd see the wheel lock.
And then Captain Raymond called out, crash, we won't make it.
We ran through the outer fence, and then everybody knew that this was not normal, and then it all happened, and it's history, really.
In all, 23 people, players, staff, journalists and crew would lose their lives in the 1958 Munich air disaster. Slush on the runway had prevented the plane taking off. The pilots and surviving crew also showed tremendous bravery throughout the ordeal. Those at home wept for their loss. The terrible news shocked everyone and left a dark hole in the lives of everyone affected.
In a way, you thought, well, maybe football's not the be and end all of everything, But when you think of it, it was our job. We were footballers and we had to get back on with it.
Must have taken a certain amount of bravery to carry on.
The bodies of the dead were flown back home. Disbelieving crowds gathered and grieved together. Bobby had lost his dear friends and was one of the survivors who had escaped the tragedy. Matt Busby was still in Germany, recovering from his serious injuries, while Jimmy Murphy and other key people kept the club alive.
We played Sheffield Wednesday first at Old Trafford. Sheffield team were in, obviously, in the programme, but when I was Manchester United, there were no names at all.
I'd been told to stay away, and I was back in the northeast. And when the first match was announced, I said that I would go down, and I came and I watched that match.
I played with players that night against Sheffield Wednesday that I had never, ever met.
And I felt really sorry for Sheffield Wednesday. They had no chance. The will of the people drove the ball forward.
I covered the return of the team, the first game they played after Munich. I was outside, I was covering the 250,000 people as a minimum who were outside the ground at the time. So anybody who was part of that became a Man United fan.
And I'm sitting there and thinking, well, I'm all right, really. What am I doing sitting here? I might as well be playing. So the following day, I came home. I came back to Manchester.
Can't imagine what that must have been like, trying to then go and play football and get on with your life. Really difficult for him, but he overcome that, and it's a testimony to the man and people like Bill Foulkes as well, and Harry Gregg, who were involved in that, to still keep playing and really have a long career after it, because you just can't imagine what it must have been like.
Miraculously, the team forged a path to the 1958 FA Cup final. Inspired by survivors Bobby, Harry Gregg and Bill Foulkes, plus a new team consisting of mainly young players.
United kick off with the sun but against the wind.
I don't know if it was a relief that the club seemed to be all right again, and things were moving. We were capable of going to the FA Cup final.
Despite the whole country willing the team on, United couldn't defeat a strong Bolton team.
And but at the end of the day, I think that the result really was incidental. Matt Busby did say it's going to take a long time to rebuild and be 5 years before we can ever think about winning any major trophy.